But first to Wheelock College, located in Boston's Fenway. It has about 800 undergraduates, specializes in early childhood education, social work, and social justice. But two professors argue they're not practicing social justice when it comes to them, as they're claiming workplace discrimination. Eric Silverman and Gail Dines, both of whom were Jewish, have filed a federal suit arguing they were targeted after they spoke up about what they believe to be a lack of Jewish perspective on campus. The pair and 5 colleagues wrote a letter about their concerns back in 2014, and Silverman and Dines say ever since, the administration's react has been, quote, fury and retaliation. I'm now joined by Professor Gail Dines, an anti-pornographer scholar and activist. Good to see you again.
Yeah,
along with Eric Silverman, he's an anthropologist and chair of psychology at Wheelock. Good
Pleasure
to see
to
you.
here.
By the way, we did invite a representative from Wheelock to be here. They declined. They sent this statement. Wheelock College is committed to providing a diverse workplace free from discrimination and retaliation, although Wheelock does not comment on the particulars of personnel disputes or litigation, disagrees strongly with the allegations made in the actions recently filed against the college. College is prepared to defend the institution against these claims, which it believes are without merit. Eric, starting with you, you say it was not a single incident, it was pervasive. Did it all start with this 2014 letter that 7 of you signed?
Exactly. That's
what did it say?
Point.
What did you say that they got so upset about?
The letter celebrated the fact that there was going to be the first formal event campus-wide that did involve Jews and Jewishness, and so we celebrated that fact. That was really the first time that Jews had been invited by the institution as sort of full participants in our
So why
diversity.
would that upset them? I don't get it. What was?
Well, because we also indicated, in a sense, that we felt that there should be much greater inclusion of Jews in our diversity conversations.
And we found out that it was coming, this Jewish-Black dialogue, and we said, well, why did you not include the Jewish faculty? We would have loved to be involved because we wanted to be part of the whole diversity. So I think we were upset because we had not, both of us teach scholarly issues around Judaism and being Jewish, and yet no one consulted any of the Jewish faculty around this.
What did they, I mean, fury and retaliation are the words you use in both your complaints with the EEOC, Equal Opportunity Employment Commission. What does fury and retaliation mean? What did they do to you, Gail Dines?
Well, you know me, so
I do know you, yes.
So I get a phone call in April from the Dean Shirley Malone Feller, telling me that I'm being accused of racism and sexism in my class.
What did you do, supposedly?
I got no information.
Well, when she said racism and sexism, I said to her, she filled in the blanks.
Well, she said I used the N-word in class. And when I said, well, actually, we read autobiographies with the N-word in class. And yes, we discuss the meaning of that sociologically. This is what you do in a scholarly classroom. And I said, and sexism? I mean, you know, I go around the world lecturing about feminism. And I said to her, I can't believe this is true. And she says, no, Gail, it'll go away. Don't worry. You're an excellent teacher, because she reads all my evaluations, which are outstanding. So I thought it was gone.
No, I understand that's unpleasant, but where's
well, wait,
the harm?
I'm not finished.
Yeah.
3 weeks later, I get a phone call from the Faculty Senate. I'm actually at the Carter Institute about to address global human rights and women, and I'm told by the Faculty Senate they're bringing in an external investigator to look into this. So from hearing absolutely nothing in mid-April...
Your alleged problem, okay.
And I'd heard nothing.
Eric, what about you? What did you theoretically...
A very similar pattern. There were allegedly accusations made that I was using the N-word in class, which I personally do not do, although we discuss the topic as we do many derogatory terms for other ethnic groups. I was also told there was going to be an external investigator, that the president did not subsequently to that interview me for an administrative position. I was the only internal candidate not interviewed.
And you contend that you were not interviewed because they were discriminating against you because of these complaints?
That's what I contend, correct. There were also other incidents at meetings when I was publicly berated by the chief diversity officer for the tone of the first letter. Never was the substantive content of the letter discussed, but I was yelled at a meeting about the tone, and I also, the president allegedly...
This is Jackie Jenkins Scott.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Recently, at a diversity council meeting, slapped the table and said that Eric Silverman would not teach alone again, would not teach that course, my American Identities course, and I would not be chair next year again.
In front of students.
In front of students. Gail Dines, you were quoted in the Boston Globe saying people are scared to speak about anything because, what does that mean? What are they,
well,
why are they scared?
Because they've seen what's happened to us.
Other faculty.
Yeah, and we are both, make this clear, we are full professors.
Tenured.
We are at the very top, not just tenured, we're also full professors. professors, full tenured. So if they're going to come after 2 fully tenured professors, I think other people are scared. Are they next? What they're going to do to them?
Have other people said to you that they're scared,
Oh, yes.
or you're just assuming?
No,
that
people
they
have come up to us
Absolutely.
and said, we support you. They've written us emails privately, but never through the Wheelock email. So that's where, yes.
What's their agenda? I mean, I know you can only speculate about this, assuming everything you say is true, and obviously we invited them, they chose not to be here. What's the agenda? If you've been there a long time, you're tenured, you're senior, what do they gain out of allegedly discriminating against you, in part because you're Jewish? Well,
this is what we can't figure out.
We're completely
We're
puzzled.
well, what's your
baffled.
speculation?
I think, I don't know, that letter must have upset them in a way that neither one of us can figure out. It was not written in an abusive tone, and it was inviting more diversity. What we were saying is we respect this diversity and we want to open it up, not close it down. So we're actually, both of us, kind of baffled by all of this.
Are you getting support from your fellow faculty?
We are getting support from some fellow
You
faculty.
paused, meaning that you're not from a majority? Is that where you're
No,
going?
not from every single faculty member,
understood,
but
yeah.
from a lot. But what I
Not
wanted...
publicly, though. We're not, nobody publicly will
Because
come
you
up-
think they're scared?
Yes.
What I wanted to add is we were not challenging the diversity initiatives at the college. Quite the contrary. We support it. In all of our teaching and professional writings will attest to that. We simply...
But you were criticizing their lack of inclusion of what you call a Jewish perspective
Yeah.
historically.
We were. But a criticism that was completely reasonable and well phrased and simply said we'd love to be consulted on how to add
You know, when I
another
asked you, one
voice.
second, Gail Dines, if I can, when I asked you a minute ago, what do you think their agenda is, and you said, we don't know. I know you long enough, I just met you. You've got to believe there's something more to this than just this, do you?
No, I can't, because you know me. You know how much publicity I bring to the college. You know how, well known I am.
You're a pretty prolific writer, too.
Yes, as well. I mean, I don't understand why they would come after me, given that it has been my home for many years, and it has traditionally been a very good place to work. So
This is pending. You filed complaints with the EEOC, correct?
That's correct.
And the status, they won't comment on these
No.
things. The status is if they find, I don't know what the standard of proof is, if they find some level of merit, then they will decide to file litigation against the school. Is that correct?
No, I think there's a few steps before that. They have to come in, they have to
Be a
do
hearing or
interviews,
something?
yes, and then they
Do you have any
to figure out-
indication of where they're going in this thing?
No, we only just filed recently. So, and they said it could take up to a few months, depending on how many cases.
What
they're
would you
actually
take from the
dealing
university? We only have 30 seconds left. If the university reached out to you and said, listen, we're sorry about all this, it was a miss, whatever they choose to say, would that be enough for you people? If it turns out they decided going forward, they will include what you call the Jewish perspective, would that resolve
No,
this
we'd
thing?
have to consult with our lawyers to see, because we've been involved with lawyers, spent a lot of money with our lawyers. I mean, there's stuff that's got to be discussed.
Quickly.
We want to make ourselves, our reputations, and the college whole, and we're open to conversations as to what that might
Have they
exactly
offered to meet with
include.
you?
They have not offered to meet with us and our attorneys.
Gail Dines, good to see you.
Great
Good
to
luck,
see
pleasure.
you. Thank
Or
you.
Pleasure to
Thank
meet
you so much.
Thank you.
And again, if the university chooses to join us, we'd love that as well.